Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. This is the 6.5 Creedmoor episode of my Will It Hunt video series. If you like the video, make sure you comment your favorite cartridge down below. Make sure to check the playlist. I've already done about 10 of these cartridges and I'm gonna do them all. But what I do in this series is I pick a cartridge, I go out to the range, I'm gonna make sure that this rig is dead on at 100 yards. We're gonna do drop charts, energy charts, chronograph, and I'm going to stretch this thing out, show you how to do the scope dials, and get this set up perfectly dialed at reasonable hunting distances at some fun hunting targets. And that's the show. 6.5 Creedmoor, Will It Hunt. The stuff I'm using here today is this Remington Core-Lock tipped. Why am I using this for this video? Well, this is my Savage 110 Trail Hunter. If you've asked me what some of my favorite rigs are, the 110 Trail Hunters, hey, I've got 3 of them and they all do 1/2 inch groups or better when I do my part. Let's review the last time. This is why I picked this ammo for this video. Last time I had this at the range, man, it's probably about a year ago. This thing was averaging, if my memory's right, better than 1/2 inch groups. Let me roll in that footage here quick. So let me give you a quick end to end here and then we'll get to flinging them down range. So like I said, this is my Savage 110 Trail Hunter. They come with that green stock. Why I like them is they have a heavier profile barrel and a long barrel. On top I have a Hawk scope with 24 zoomies. Now this is an MOA scope, so when I dial for longer distance, I'm going to be dialing an MOA, but I'm going to show you the mil dials as well for this video. And these come threaded 5/8. So on the end I have my Banish 30 V2 can. Whew. So first thing I'm going to do quick is verify this 100 yard zero. It's probably going to be slightly off. Like I said, last time I had it at the range was like a year ago. And I had a different can on it then. I did not have this can when I filmed that video. And my chickens are out here this morning. But anyways, let's send some at 100. I'll get this rig dead on zero at 100. I'll set my turrets back to 0 and then we'll do some quick numbers. I'll show them all to you. We'll talk about hunting distances and then we're gonna start stretching this thing out. I bought a new scope camera because my old one broke, so this should be a pretty fun video. 6.5 Creedmoor, or as my friend Eric Cortina calls it, the 6.5 needs more. Will It Hunt. Now, if you love hunting videos, check it out. I took this very same ammo, Remington Core-Lock tipped, in the 6.5 Creedmoor. It's a 129 grain, I believe. That box is kind of scratched up, yeah. It's a 129 grainer. I took this stuff to Africa. Took 3 animals with it. Man, my brain is blanking. Impala, a Blessbach, and a Steinbach. Took with this exact stuff. But let's get this thing dialed in at 100. Let me put my target camera downrange. All right, so 100 yards first, we got to verify our zero. I can just about guarantee it's going to be a little bit off, but we should definitely be on paper. Man, it's so humid. My glasses are fogging up. I'm gonna hold dead center down there. Ooh, high. What is that? 2 inches high. I'm gonna go ahead and start adjusting. We were up, so we need to go in the down direction. Oh, my turret is dialed up. I might have been messing around with it and not put it all the way back down. So since it's an MOA scope, we should just be able to dial about 8 clicks. Now let's see where we're at. All right. right, so now that fixed our up and down, but that one hit the shade left. So let me click it a shade left. Somebody said, oh, you got to do a group before you start monkeying around with that. Oh, I know. Just give it 2 clicks to the right. I probably should have. But I know this rig likes this ammo though, so if I didn't already have that confidence, I probably would have done a group before I touched the scope. Good squeeze there, and let me take off these foggy glasses. We're kissing the bullseye there. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna zero this turret for 0 on the top and the side turrets. I'll be right back. We'll get a chronograph, start stretching it out. All right, let's send a few over the chronograph. And I always forget to grab a pad and paper, so I'm gonna type it into my phone here. 2911 and 2895. 2911 and 2895. Let me get the average of that. 2903. So that's what we're going to use for our velocity. Let me do some boop boop numbers, and I'll show you the energy and drops quick, and we're going to start stretching it out. Check this out. Be right back. I really want to bring you along with every little thing that I'm doing in this video series, so let me show you real quick how to zero your turrets. So I showed you we're bullseyed now after a couple adjustments at 100 yards, but I want my turret to say 0. So I'm going to loosen this. I got a piece of brass. Some of these turrets might have little screws on the all around them. This one has a little flathead screwdriver, which I don't have a screwdriver, so I broke it loose with that brass. So let me loosen this quick. So now that I've loosened that enough to take it off, I'm going to take the turret off, find the 0, and most scopes will have a little hash there that you can line it up with. You want to make sure that it's on the 0, especially once we really start stretching it out. That matters, that you're exact and perfect. So now I'm just going to tighten it down, and then I'll do the same to this turret over here. 0 them out. Real quick on some numbers here. Using this ammo, we just got it 0 to 100. We got the speed, so plugged it in. The BC on this stuff, the G1 scale is 0.485. That's pretty good, especially for some hunting ammo. Projectile weight 129. That velocity we got averaged to 2903. I measured the sight height to 1.75 inches. And then I ran the numbers all the way up to 1,000 yards. So if you look at the second to last column, energy. These numbers say that this has 1,000 foot-pounds of energy to roughly somewhere between 600 and 650 yards. So 6.5 Creedmoor has always been controversial for hunting since it came out. I've actually hunted places where the facility, the property owners would not let you hunt with 6.5 Creedmoor because they said, actually 2 places I've hunted like that, they said they've lost too many deer because hunters hunting with 6.5 Creedmoor that they wouldn't even let you hunt with it anymore. Anyways, that's just, hey, I've hunted with it in Africa, took 3 animals, no problem, but I'm just saying it has a reputation for wounding animals and people not finding them. I've never experienced that, but people have. Just throwing that out there. But the numbers say, hey, 600 yards, you got over 1,000 foot-pounds of energy with this stuff. So next we're going out to 200 yards. Drops 2.95 inches, or 1.4 MOA, or 0.41 mils. Since I have an MOA scope, let me bring you in here close. This is calling for 1.41, so I'm going to go ahead and dial it for 1.5 MOA. I give you the front-on view here. We zeroed the turret, and I needed to dial for 1.5 for 200 yards. So we're going to go up to 1.5. This turret, you push it back down when it's set. Not all of them do that, but this one does. So now we're good for 200 yards. All right, now here we go. We're dialed 1.5 MOA for 200 yards with this stuff. After 200, I'm going to start using the scope camera. This isn't that exciting yet, but set my parallax. for 200. Give it all the zoomies for 24 zoomies. And I'm gonna hold dead center of that plate and see where we hit. Do my best on my squeeze and everything here. Good squeeze there when you hit pretty near center. Probably could stop there, but let's go ahead and send another one. And that was a center hit too. So now our dial for 200 is good. What's our handy dandy chart saying for 300? We verified that we're good at 200 with that 1.4. Now for 300, it is dropping 11.28 inches, 3.59 MOA, or 1.04 mils. So 300 is exactly 1 mils, but since we're using MOA, 3.59. So I'm gonna go ahead and dial it for 3.5. When it's in between on MOA, you kind of gotta pick one way or the other and either round down and hold a shade high or round up and hold a shade low. So I'm gonna dial for 3.5, and let's go send some at 300. I've got a Caldwell 33% Deers AR 500 at 300 yards. Let's sling some at 300. All right, now back here at 300 yards, let me go ahead and triple check my dial. We wanted 3.5. I got 3.5. This is where I'm gonna start using the scope camera and do the extra editing and all that, but I think it's a really cool image. Let me level my table here while I'm waiting for this camera to connect. Camera's recording, pretty good conditions today. I see absolutely zero wind. The only thing I don't like is the humidity. That's just making me sweat. So let me put 3 in here. First round hit at 300 always makes me happy. Somebody said, oh, it's not that far yet. I know it. Still makes me happy though. And we're gonna keep stretching it out after that. But here we go. Recording on 3 cameras. Let's send one. That's a 1/3 size deer. It's not a full size deer. That'd be too easy. Okay. All the zoomies. We're recording. Dial's good. Put one in there. We'll be ready. I'm gonna hold right up. I'm gonna hold right up from the left edge of the front leg. Do my best on my squeeze here. And we had a miss. I bet I was slightly low. I bet I was a little low. Man, I said first round hit makes me happy. We'd have just missed that deer. Oh well. We hold a little higher this time. I felt good about that squeeze. I didn't stay in the scope though. Try to do better about staying in the scope this time. Hold slightly higher. I'm not seeing it. You double check my data. Hadn't had one missing like this yet in this whole video series. Especially with 6.5 Creedmoor, my goodness. 3.59 MOA. That's where we're at. Man. I might be high. Me send one real quick, just holding bottom edge this time. So we had a hit. I'm not sure because that hit exactly where I was aiming. Exactly. I mean, you guys can see it in the scope camera. That hit, you should have seen it. That hit pretty much exactly where I was holding. So let me try that hold again. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to try that hold again. I'm going to come up one more. We're going to go 3.75 MOA and do this same center hold like I wanted to, 3.75 MOA. Part of this is documenting my own rig, so when I go to take it hunting, I know all the dials. Hit. So we should be good now. Let me send a couple more at this distance. I know it likes this ammo, so. Yeah. So I rounded down when I should have rounded up with an MOA dial. Oh no, that top one, the spall or the shrapnel might have knocked off my hit indicator down there. Let's send a couple more at 300. I didn't see it flashing that time, and one of those hits was kind of high. Whoops. I want to be able to see it, so I'm going to hold hind end right here on this one. Right above the crease. So we're hitting slightly high there because I went above on the MOA. Need me do one square here. Ah, that must have went right over them. There we go. Yeah, I must have hit that green light. But I know the dial now for 300. So what's 400 gonna be? Bring my chart back up. 400 is dropping 25.78 inches. The MOA is 6.15, mils is 1.79. So let's dial 400, calling for 6.15. So I'm gonna go ahead and dial 6.25 because we only have quarter increments. So let me set up my target at 400 and we'll send some more. Somebody said 400 yards, that's a chip shot for a 6.5 Creedmoor. Yeah, I know. I've got other videos taking it out past 1,000. 400 yards, 6.15. I've got it dialed 6 1/4. So, wait, no. Yeah, so I'm dialed slightly high. That being said, let's start recording with this target camera. Quit talking and just start hitting some steel. Oh, see there, my Wi-Fi disconnected from the scope camera. I tell you what, this recording business is a mess, huh? I shouldn't complain. Okay, now we're connected to the beep op again. Recording, yeah, recording on all 3 cameras. Here we go. All right, because of where the sun is at this point in the day, we're kind of going down into a hole, so it's going to be harder to spot our misses, but I did put a little bit bigger target. So, pretty much 0 wind. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold that top line on that post hole where the hook comes through. Try to give us a good reference point for holding every time. Do 3 in a row here. Dead center, just below the post. See what kind of group we can get here. pretty near it. And you can see we're hitting slightly high of where I'm aiming because I dialed up slightly above what the calculation said. That one hit pretty near the other two. Let's see. Let's just send some more. That one was kind of all over the place, but hey, now we're just having fun. Let's go run and look at those targets quick. So there's my 200 yard still where we were verifying our dial at 200, slapping dead center. And down here at 300 yards, my deer target, you can see that this is a 1/3 size deer. Called that one ping. I called here and I think I missed high. Hit there, and I think that's 4 there, but the thing came off. I didn't hit it, but just, I guess, maybe smacking the steel right in front of it. I guarantee it still works. We put that back on. I probably didn't pick the best spot to put that, but I probably should have put it like back here or something, but it still works. I like having a light on there. But yeah, that's my 300 yard target. I got my confirmation I could get a deer now that I know what I'm doing with that scope. Let's go look at the 400 target. And then here's my target at 400. What I was doing, that reticle has a dot in the middle and then it has a hash coming down. Just to try to get an exact holding spot, I was holding that top hash right here. So, oh, how big of my group there with that stuff? At 400. Definitely inside the money zone of a deer, but what is that? Probably a 7-inch group or so I got there. Trying to hold the same way there. But hey, let me know in the comments down below. 6.5 Creedmoor. Will it hunt? Give me your opinion down below. Like I said, I hunted with it in Africa and it did good with this exact same ammo. Maybe the moral of the story is I should stick to mil scopes and not MOA. No, I'm kidding. I do like mils better though. But moral of the story, whatever your rig is, make sure you have ammo that you can get. Small groups, do your best to practice. And if you're gonna hunt at ranges, make sure you practice at those ranges. Do the best that you can with what you have. But hey, appreciate you watching. 6.5 Creedmoor. Will it hunt? Tons more cartridges on the way. Make sure you hit the playlist and check out what we've already done. Appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you on the next one. Hooty hoo.